This week, I wanted to talk about parallel parenting.
What is parallel parenting?
You need to be looking at is parallel parenting.
What is parallel parenting?
If you don't know what parallel parenting is, it's very similar to shared parenting, but one big difference.
Which is where both parents kind of do their own thing when they have the child, but they both have equal access and have equal rights to the child. But they don't really share information back and forth, thus making it more like they are parenting side by side instead of parenting together. For those who don't know, maybe you're new to the channel, I've actually been going through a pretty contentious divorce hearing and custody battle over the last 2 years. And then as I kind of dive deeper into figuring out shared parenting, how it worked, how to get it in the state of Ohio, I've actually learned that there's a difference between what I was hoping for and what I actually got. So I was hoping for shared parenting where the two parents work together, but what I really got was parallel parenting, which is where both parents kind of do their own thing when they have the child, but they both have equal access and have equal rights to the child. But they don't really share information back and forth, thus making it more like they are parenting side by side instead of parenting together. And if you didn't know, here in the state of Ohio, I found out that you can actually submit a shared parenting plan even if you don't actually come to a shared parenting agreement with the other parent.
Now, I also put it though at the end of the day that if we still could not come to an agreement, I had final say. Now again, this is because I submitted a shared parenting plan, whereas Becca did not submit a shared parenting plan. So the judge was not able to pick a shared parenting plan based on hers. His only options was to accept and adopt mine, or to, do the traditional, every other weekend for the dad, or to give us, just shared parenting of his own device on what he felt. So, I kind of got the medical side of things and get the final say, set up his appointments, things like that. On the flip side, Becca has school priority. So he goes to school in the district that she lives in. Now, I don't think the judge made the right choice in this, but it honestly kind of evened everything out. Also, I requested 0 child support if I have Tanner half the time and she has Tanner half the time, and we're both doing half the work. I'm paying, his school lunches when he's with me, his clothes, she's paying school lunches when he's with her. So I requested 0 child support because I think that's normal. I was paying almost $1,000 a month. They basically knocked it in half to $500. So they did make a couple tweaks, but overall they accepted my shared parenting plan. But again, my thought was we were gonna work together on this, but that was not the case. Instead, both of us kind of on a sides of a railroad track, walking down a line, both parenting Tanner, but no real communication between us unless absolutely mandatory because of the court. And so that was my thought and what I was expecting. However, I'm not gonna say that parallel parenting is bad. I mean, obviously shared parenting where both parents are working together for the best interest of the child is what is best for that child. However, I still do think that if one of the parents cannot agree and the other parent is trying to do what's best for the child and be an equal part of that child's life, then I think parallel parenting is still a much better option than just, giving custody to one parent or the other. Obviously, it makes things more tricky. It's a little bit more paperwork. It's a little bit more things that the courts have to do. And so I don't think they like it. It's more things the lawyers have to do, probably why my first lawyer didn't like it. But, I will encourage you, if you're going through this situation, look into submitting a parenting plan, see if your state, if you actually need both parents in order to submit one. And so I think what that taught me is that, a lot of dads go into court thinking that it's either A, they're going to get every other weekend, get hit with extremely high child support fees, or they're going to get shared parenting and equal visitation. I don't think most dads go into the courtroom thinking that they're gonna win full custody. I'm not saying it can't happen. Obviously, if there's certain circumstances, like maybe, drug abuse or something, but typically I don't think most fathers are going in expecting that because of how the system is currently set up. But again, I think there are additional options that a lot of times are not spoken to or told to dads because it does complicate the process. It does make it a little more difficult. And because I think that society as a whole favors keeping the kids with the mother as much as possible, which I think is totally BS personally. And I think that the kid having equal time with both parents is what's best for the child. One thing that all of this kind of taught me was that there are a lot more options out there than you would think as a father if you're going through this. And so I also learned that it's extremely important for you as a father to do your own research research. Figure out the options available to you in your state, in your district. Don't be afraid to fire your lawyer if you need to. I had a lawyer at first. She was not doing, what I thought she should be doing. Took me a while, but I ended up just saying, you know what? I have to do what's best for my son. And I ended up firing her and got a second lawyer, which again, probably, if I wouldn't have done that, I would not have today equal visitation and shared parenting with my son, Tanner. And you can use lots of resources. So there are now lots of resources like, for example, ChatGPT, in which you can use ChatGPT, or Perplexity is a good one as well. Perplexity is like ChatGPT and a search engine put together. You can basically use these AI tools to really help you dig into what the laws and stuff are in your state and to really help guide you. In fact, you can even feed it like court documents and stuff that you receive and get explanations of things through ChatGPT or through Perplexity or whatever. So it was extremely useful for me throughout the entire process. I think what I learned out of this is you have to be willing when you go into this to do a lot of your own work, to do a lot of your own research, and to push for what you know is right, and push to make shared parenting or parallel parenting or whatever you want to call it work for your situation.
I got you one more surprise now that I got Tails all fixed up. Poor guy has had mange. He went to the doctors. Look at his, oh my gosh, poor guy. Yeah, that's my good boy. I'm so sorry you're hurting. We got him some anti-itch stuff. All right, I got you a prize. Leave that pause. Nope, stay there. I'll bring it here. Stay right there. I'll bring it in here. Stay there. I bought it because we've been playing Power World and we've been playing computer games. And so I thought it might be good for you so that we're able to maybe like next time if we ever play with Tony. I'm here. It's here. What do you mean hide it? Hide it for what?
For me.
For you to find or something?
Yeah, like a scavenger.
Oh, like a scavenger hunt thing or something you're saying? Like that?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. I gotta go hide it. Just slid it under the coffee table right there where he's at. I've never noticed it. Okay, it's hidden.
You have to say warmer and cooler.
Okay, well, where are you starting at? You gotta pick your starting spot. Where you want to start? In your bedroom? Okay.
That is a good spot to hide stuff.
Okay, under your bed's a good spot?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you I didn't go in your bedroom. So, but you can start right here. Cold, warmer, 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 colder, colder, warmer, colder, warmer, 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 cold, cold, colder, 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 cold, warmer, 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 cold, warmer, 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 so warm, super warm, so hot. Watch your finger. What? Your own headset with your own microphone. So you can talk in Discord and stuff like when we play with Tony. What do you think? Do you like it? Like how Daddy has his gaming headphones? I mean, you don't have to use them all the time. Like when it's just me and you playing or whatever, unless you want to, you don't have to use them because I know sometimes you don't like headphones. But that way when we play games with other people, you'll be able to talk to them and stuff.
I'm gonna check it out.
All right, here, let's open it up on the couch. What are you doing?
I'm getting a snack.
Oh, a snack.
Pull that.
Go ahead. Pull it.
This?
The tab. You should be able to pull straight. Yeah, yep. Pull it out. Oh, it's called Razor's the brand. It's the kind of mouse Daddy has.
Yo.
Easy with it.
Yo.
Yeah, that's the microphone.
Let's go.
What do you think? Oh,
That
jeez.
didn't hurt.
I mean, we had to probably adjust it some, fix it a little bit, but and then this band, yeah, it's a little heavy.
This is cool.
You like it? Nice.
But they're a
Comfortable?
little heavy.
Yeah, well, you get used to them probably, and you'll grow into them. As you keep growing, they'll be nice because you'll be able to use them for a couple years.
These are nice.
Yeah, they're a nice pair. I got them they were on sale, but yeah, look, it says Razor on the top, nice. I'm gonna go hang them on your headphone hanger on your desk. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can just bend this up out of the way. Ugh. So you like it?
Yeah.
Cool. You think you that big? I get it, you little puppy too. That would be horrible. Ah. So as we wrap up this video, I just wanted to give you guys some general tips when it comes to parallel parenting. And I'm sure these also apply to shared parenting as well, if you're lucky enough to have a partner who actually will work with you and co-parent successfully with you. The first one being communication. Make sure you keep everything about the kid. It's very easy, and hey, I'm guilty of this myself, but it's very easy to allow personal feelings and allow personal slights that have been done against you to kind of cloud your judgment and to cause you to sometimes lash out. But it's very important that you keep the communication about the child. Doing so is going to protect your sanity, but even more importantly, it's going to protect your rights, because you don't want to be going back into court where one of the parents is saying that you're constantly berating them, or you're constantly bringing up the past, or you're constantly doing this or that, and you're really not keeping the conversations focused on the child. So first tip I would have is make sure you keep it about the child, because at the end of the day, that's really what matters. You have to also, speaking about communication, you yourself also, as much as you don't want to lash out at the other parent, you have to set clear boundaries. If the other parent does something that you don't like or you're not okay with, you have to let them know. You have to deal with the uncomfortableness of bringing stuff up to the other parent, especially if you don't like it. Just because you are co-parenting, just because you are trying to have a good relationship, does not mean that you have to become a doormat. You are allowed to set clear boundaries with the other parent and tell them what they can and cannot do. You want to make sure that you're included in school decisions and they're not including you? Make sure you let them know that they need to start including you, or else you're going to take them back to court and bring it up to the judge and stuff. Now, obviously, they can choose to ignore that. They can choose to do their own thing, but at least, especially if you document it, which is kind of my next point, is make sure you document everything. But if you're documenting that stuff and then you do go back into court, you'll then have a lot of proof of where you've tried working with the other parent, you've tried setting clear boundaries, but the other parent basically refused to work with you. And then at the end of the day, all of those different tips, they all come to the same bottom line, which is you have to prioritize your child's well-being. You have to prioritize what's best for your child. And that is sometimes very difficult to do, not just because of our own feelings and stuff, but sometimes it's hard to know exactly what is best for your child. Sometimes, the parent does something and you worry that it's going to affect your child negatively, and you feel like there's not really a lot you can do. I mean, obviously you can't just all of a sudden say you're not seeing the kid no more, or else you're going to be back in court and dealing with that. So it's also very hard to sometimes determine what is the best thing for your child, but at the end of the day, that's really what you have to focus on. And you have to be willing to let things roll off your back and to assume the best. Meaning, if a mistake is done, you have to assume that the other parent loves your child just as much as you do, and that they're not trying to intentionally do something to harm the child. If you guys found these tips helpful, make sure you hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more single dad content. And maybe you should check out this video of me and Tanner playing some Donkey Kong. Find out who's actually better at Mario versus Donkey Kong. And until next time, love your faces. Later, nerds.